Welcome to the Edge. The Edge is an age-old thing, but it's not that old. But there are some things that are old that people don't even realize were not around in 1979. What happened in 1979 is a big deal. It's a very important year in terms of abortion, of all things. And the country is Spain, which was a Catholic country. The people were opposed to abortion at any and all costs, so much so that they decided to try, I think it was 40 nurses, 10 doctors, and all kinds of people with murder taking part in abortions in the country of Spain, a Catholic country. They had a dictator for a long time by the name of Franco. They now have a king and they have a parliament, no more dictator. In 79, the public got to see this live television murder trial that was being brought against these nurses, doctors, and nursing help. All were charged equally with taking part in an abortion as murder. And it enraged the people of Spain so much so, they shut down the trial. It was an official legal trial in the country of Spain. Spain is about 50 million people. And the long and short of it, they overturned all the laws on abortion because of that trial. And the punishment of the murder conviction, should it have come about, would have been death. It would have put these people to death, several of them, for committing an abortion. Now we have in this country, that was in 1979. That's 43 years ago. Alex, you are someone who is 31 years old. So this is 10 years after this time you were born. So the world has seen this problem before. And the problem is when you're telling a woman what to do or a child what to do with their life, most of the people that can't do abortions or can't afford it are poor people. Most of the abortions that the state of Texas is blocking are poor people who want abortions, who can't afford to have children. And that makes the situation really kind of unfair. The people who have money can get on a plane or on a bus or drive or whatever and go where the abortions are going to happen without a punishment. But the state of Texas has decided to go around Roe v. Wade by making it a local thing that anybody can charge anybody with committing an abortion as an illegal act and can be jailed for it. So if a young girl is pregnant from her father or her brother or her uncle or her grandfather, and she's 10 years old or 11 or 12, she's in a position of being forced to give birth under Texas law with no rights and an adult deciding for her. And the moralists will say, well, it's murder, so she has to give birth, and tough shit that she's pregnant. Well, who's going to take the child? What system's out there to protect the child that's coming out from birth when it becomes a child, when after it's viable, which is what Roe requires, viability. Viability is when the person that you say is a person doesn't happen until they can breathe air in some people's mind. And so that's why they have a 3 to 4 month period before they allow abortions or have allowed abortions. Now they're not being allowed at all in Texas. And other states are going to join in this to try to kill off Roe v. Wade. So the arguments are running rampant. The so-called pro-lifers who don't believe in caring for the people after they're born, but raise hell about morality before, calling it murder. It's a matter of a society being able to take care of people, and you cannot do that for children. You just can't. So, Alex, you've been listening to some of the things I've been saying. I know you're you're going to come at me over the morality side of it, but tell me all about your morality.
First, thank you, Augie, for letting me be on your show. I'll get the edge. Please subscribe, guys. Great show, great person, great views. I thought it'd be best to show my daughter. My daughter's 1 year old. She was running around on me, acting crazy, acting like a 1 year old. What if she was aborted? What if I decided to abort her? What if I was irresponsibly having a baby and couldn't afford it and all those things you said and was like, hey, let's just kill her. Let's make my life easier. We'll just kill her and make my life easier, guys. I mean, there's so many different ways to push and pull this argument. But at the end of the day is the people who want abortion to exist, maybe they should be aborted. And then they wouldn't exist, and then abortion wouldn't exist.
Well, Alex, I didn't know you were a woman. I thought all this time you were male. I didn't know you could give birth. I mean, goodness gracious, you must have made that decision all by yourself to change your sex, right?
This is the push and the pull of the argument. It's a very serious one. Obviously, it's more serious for a woman
But
because at the end of the day, it's the woman's
you're really
decision.
speaking
You're
for
right.
women, not as a woman, right?
I'm speaking for the unborn child.
Well, really, you're an unborn child now. You're a woman speaking, a man speaking for a woman, acting like a woman, and now you're speaking for the unborn child. You know how they speak too. Amazing, amazing.
I think if nobody speaks for the child, then their fate is up to whoever is controlling things at the time. And that's not right.
Well,
It's not right.
if that were true, you would be totally right. If that were true.
If my mom was pregnant by her dad, I wouldn't want her to abort me. Give me a chance, Mom. You don't want me? Throw me to the street. Somebody will feed me, Mom. Throw me in a dumpster. Some EMS will find me. Some firefighter. Somebody will adopt me. Some hero.
Oh yeah, they find them all the time
Mom,
dead.
guess what?
They
I'm
find people who have children by themselves, and they find them wrapped in plastic in the garbage dumps all the time.
Mom, please. I'd rather have that than you annihilate me before I could even say, Mom. I could even scream.
Like you see, when does a person become a person? That's the question.
When they're thrown in the dumpster.
Alex, if you want to be intelligent, you got to do better than that.
Okay, let's talk it. Let's talk about it. Whenever the heartbeat starts, whenever the first genome starts, because in Christianity.
Oh, really? Now. What part of Christianity are you talking about? Which part and when?
I'm talking about the Holy Bible.
No, Bob. The
I've been
Bible.
designated, I've been designated by God.
Oh, goodness gracious, Alex. You're throwing words out without any knowledge. You don't even know your own Christianity. You don't know your own.
I think a lot of Christians, including myself, been designated by God.
What's
to
that?
speak
What's
the
that? Who's God?
truth.
God,
Truth.
you are God speaking. You are the God of gods.
Nope.
Oh,
But God has anointed me and others and a lot of others
when
to
did
speak
that
about
happen?
the Holy
Alex,
Bible.
when
Because
did
others
that,
won't.
Alex, when did that occur?
There's people that will deny that when that will occur. Who said it occurred?
You did. You did. You
People are
said
born and say,
God
look,
is.
I will speak the real truth of God, and and I'm one of them. I'm sorry.
Alex, you're making statements here. But you want to embarrass yourself, keep it up. But let's just get this real, not this self-appointed nonsense that you're starting with. You are opposed to abortion. Why?
Because I don't want to see nobody not have a chance. I want to see everyone have a chance at all circumstance.
So let's just put it down to what happens. What reality is, poor people, and you're not wealthy, but poor people are the ones who can't afford to have another child, and they're the excuse. Excuse me, let me finish. I listened to you. I listened to your point. I'm answering your point, or trying to, attempting to. A poor person that can't afford to bring a child to the world because they can't take care of it is why they abort very often. And you were talking about induced abortion, okay? An induced abortion is also an abortion. In other words, if a woman, if she can do what they call a miscarriage or induced miscarriage. There's another word for it. Doctors do it all the time, and it's declared as an induced thing. Now, I'm not going to speak as a medical person, but I am going to use some of that in supporting the discussion. Okay. This is not an emotional thing to me. This is an objective thing. A child is declared under Christian thinking, the Catholic Church mainly, for about 3 years between 1963 and 1969, declared abortions okay. After they when they said that a person could live outside the womb at what 4 months? No, 4 3/4. Trying to think it was trying to think it was about 6 months. Could live outside the womb and be a person. And that's when personhood began. That was in the old Catholic Church, which has been all over the map on this discussion. For 6 years, they said that's it. That was it, and that's at the time of the Pope John the 23rd, previous to John Paul II, and so forth. And the church was looking at it much more openly. And the Catholic Church is a big dog in this fight over abortion. And it's gotten much more restrictive lately because they say, well, the heartbeat happens here. Does the brain and the heartbeat happen at the same time? The answer is no, it doesn't. And you can be a heartbeat and be dead at the same time. You can be dead in the head and still have your heart beating. That's well known. People in comas, their brain may not be functioning, and their heart's pumping away. It's not the same thing. It's not total life. It's a part of life. So these emotional arguments that people use to satisfy their sense of right and wrong is the only right in a situation where a child, which to me is the biggest morality issue for people in what they call pro-life, which they're not pro-life, they're pro-existence. They're not really, they really don't care what happens to the child after it's born. They just want to say they were participants in forcing someone to have and give birth. That's what they want. They want the morality thumping their chest, look at me, and I'll play God in this, because that's what the Old Testament was about. Thou
That
shalt
hurt.
not. The Old Testament was about thou shalt not or else. And the person who said that was a person claiming to be God. That's what that is. And the reason I referred to the Texas Taliban is because women have to be kept in their place. And the way you keep in their place, you control their bodies, and men decide to do that. And that's what the Taliban does right now. We're going to talk about Afghanistan too, and we'll talk about it in the same, because that's the same people. The same mentality does that. And they always claim that God said this, Allah said that. And you know what? None of that's true. The man that's yapping is the one that said it. There's no God involved. And so when people play God, they're just playing. They're acting. They have no relationship to Christianity, because most of them don't even know what happened in the most critical part of Christ's teaching. They claim to be Christian, yet they don't know what his teaching was. So I'm going to ask this Christian, that Alex, what he knows about a critical time for Jesus Christ. When was that he announced himself as to what he was or wasn't, and when was that?
I wasn't prepared for this question. I thought we were talking about
But
abortion.
you claim to be a Christian.
The thing is,
No, the
if you
thing
want
is,
to let's talk about
you
what you
announced
stated.
to the,
Well, let's
you
talk about what
announced
you
on the
stated.
edge. You announced on the edge. I'm calling you on this. You announced that you're a Christian, and I'm asking you a specific thing. What
Pointed.
what
I was in
what what are the key three things that Christ taught? What are they? What are they? Forget about when it happened. What are they?
forgiveness, love, The third one is tricky because I know you're going to trick me.
No, there's nothing tricky about it. It's fairly simple. There you have the Beatitudes, which you don't know what they are. You have his pronouncement of loyalty to faith in the Sermon on the Mount. And what did Christ? How did Christ? How did I mean? You called yourself anointed by God. Christ only referred to him as himself as a son of man. He didn't have the arrogance to announce himself as appointed by God. That's how.
I didn't say appointed. I didn't say appointed. Now, there's people on this earth that are going to say, "Look, I'm going to die for God." I'm one of them. You think that killing babies are fine? That's okay.
Alex,
kill babies.
Alex,
let's talk about something else. No.
When you've lost the argument, you
run
around. You're running around again. You're running in like you've got a nail in your shoe and you're running in circles. So let me bring you back to the point of what is a Christian. You announce you're a Christian, yet you know nothing about Christianity. The prayer of Jesus, you don't even know what it is. And the first word in the prayer of the Our Father, or the announcement of loyalty to Christianity, is what was the word? What is the word?
Our Father.
What?
What was the first word of prayer?
The first word. The first word that Christ gave you when he made his pronouncement in the Sermon on the Mount.
I need to look under the Bible at this
moment.
You know
what the prayer that Jesus gave you that he's most well known for? What that is?
I trust the Bible. I trust that the Holy Bible has it, and the Holy Bible is true.
No, it's in the New Testament.
But it contains it.
Alex, you just don't know your religion like you think you do. The word is our, O-U-R, our Father.
I did say our. That was the first place. That's why I said our Father. That was my first answer.
Okay, then I missed that. Fine. I'm glad you. So what does that mean? When Jesus himself says, our Father, who? What's that say?
That means we are all his children. And I believe that.
No, that doesn't mean that at all. When Christ says, our Father, what's he saying about himself?
I'm not sure. Tell me.
Well, what if you said our Father, what would that mean?
We all have the same dad?
So he said, our Father, of our brotherhood. That's in his fucking prayer. And you don't understand that because you don't understand your own religion. So you lose credibility there. But let's keep you back as a credible, forgivable human being. Then he puts in not to trespass against others as you would have nobody trespass against you. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's all in that prayer. And then you have the Beatitudes, which is help the needy, go to the poor, go to the jails, go to the hospitals, help one another. More brotherhood. It's all about brotherhood. It's not about godhood. And then he announced within the statement from the Sermon on the Mount, in a very brief time, he made these announcements. Very simple, clear. It's not in the Old Testament, it's in the New. Is that we all have to forgive one another if we're going to survive. He punished the people verbally for stoning a woman caught in adultery. And he forgave the woman, told her to forgive herself and not to judge her from the others. He told the Sanhedrin, you could not do this to this person. He embarrassed them. He terrified the leadership of the Jews at the time for punishing people unfairly. And that's the Christ that I know. That's the Christ that I believe in. The Christ you believe in, I don't know what the fuck he is. So, and you want to talk about?
You're awesome for that. I appreciate it.
What's that?
That was good. You're awesome for that.
Anyway, so nonetheless, I forgive you for your ignorance about Christianity, and you have to forgive yourself. But you got to damn well read the Sermon on the Mount, and you should do that. Forget about reading the Bible and hunting for it. It's in his prayer on the Sermon on the Mount. He also
got it.
So the other thing he did was he gave fishes to the people. He fed them. Multitude of the people, he kept feeding them and feeding them. What he was feeding them with was the faith that they could forgive one another and forgive themselves, so they wouldn't hold revenge in their hearts anymore. They were free of revenge. The Old Testament was about revenge. Thou shalt not, or else. I'm God. I'm God. I'm going to punish you. I'm going to make you sorry. I'm going to play God here. But you're not God. Yes, I am. I can stone you. I can behead you. I can cut that off, which is offending you. I'll pull up Moses all day long and punish you. And so Muhammad comes 400 years later or so and says, I'm going to do that 10 times over. I'm going to do what the Jews did because they failed. They got this Christ character to mess everything up. Christ messed everything up, took away our place to punish people and play God, to stone people, to behead them. That's what we do too. We believe Moses was right and Christ was wrong. We're all three of us are sons of Abraham. Christ was a son of Abraham. So was Muhammad. So was Moses. But the two people that betrayed Abraham were Moses and Muhammad. They could not forgive. They could not love. They could not accept. And to this day, they want to keep doing that. And here comes along little old Texas Governor Abbott in his wheelchair saying, well, look at me. I know how to do what Muhammad couldn't do. I can do it in good old Texas. I can freeze the sons of bitches here if I want to. They just deserve it. They love me here. By God, they're from Texas, aren't they? We're the Lone Star State. We can lie about anything and everybody's going to swallow our lies because we can play Christianity like nobody else can because we're God. By God, my goodness. Anyway, Alex, it's been fun.
It's been, man. Thank you.
And really check out your Christianity just a touch more.
Hey, everybody subscribe to All Get the Edge. Subscribe on 1211 Productions YouTube. Get more shows from him. Thank you guys for watching. More will come. Thank you, Augie, man. Thank you again.
Thank you, Alex, for putting up with this kind retribution.